So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another unique video of this weekend. And this week I wanted to talk about planetary support. What kind of a support your planet is getting. And the reason why I'm making this video, and it's a long time in the making actually, somebody on my Facebook page asked a pretty good question. Like, look, you've talked about something known as Kemdram Dosh. Kemdram Dosh is a yoga in Vedic astrology when there's no planets on either side of the moon, 12th from the moon and 2nd from the moon. The moon is alone. What happens is this person likes to be alone, likes to be isolated. They like their own company more than anybody else's. And this moon gets its creativity when they're alone. If they're with a bunch of people, they cannot think straight. They have to be alone. They have to take their walks alone for them to think straight and come up with creative ideas. But then this person's like, okay, so what about the opposite? What if there's planet surrounding the moon? What happens then? Well, of course, that makes a huge difference. But then I'm like, no, it's not just the moon that gives a certain result when it's surrounded by planets. Any planet that has a planet 12th from itself and 2nd from itself will react a certain way, regardless of its placement, regardless of its sign placement, regardless of its nakshatra placement, regardless of its Shadbala strength or its Avashta. It'll give a certain result just based on the fact what planet is 12th from itself and 2nd from itself. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And so it's important. So if you do not know what planet is 12th from your planet or 2nd from your planet, whether it's Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report. We're on the 2nd page where you will see exactly where each planet is placed. And also check out my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, including all the other options here at this link. So, the concept of a planet being surrounded. So we'll start from moon, okay? We know what happens when moon is alone, right? But what happens when there are planets surrounding the moon? First of all, what is the moon? Basically, in its most basic of form, moon represents the peace of mind and mind itself. How is the mind behaving? Is the mind calm? Is there an anxiety in the mind? Is there fear in the mind? Is there a complete detachment in the mind? However the mind is set up, that's what moon is, right? Okay, so we're not going to discuss the condition of the moon here. We're simply saying that your moon is whatever sign it's in, nakshatra it's in, degrees it's in. Fine. Let's talk about when planet is in 12th from the moon and 2nd from the moon. When a planet is in 12th from the moon, it shows the kind of foundation your mind was built upon. The kind of foundation, the teachings, the advisors that were behind you from the moment you stepped out of your mother's womb onto this planet. Then what happens when there's a planet 2nd from the moon? These are the goals that the mind wants to strive towards. These are the situation, conditions, the kind of people you are really attracted to go towards to increase your mental intelligence. So that's what this scenario does. But let's go into more detail. Let's talk about what happens when these scenarios have a certain planet. And then we'll discuss other planets with it. Okay, so let's say your moon has Jupiter 12th from itself. What does this show? That from the beginning, you had the support of great teachers and advisor behind you. You had the support of great educational, moral, religious, and spiritual knowledge behind you. Yet, one thing we have to understand, As I said, do not worry about where any planet is placed. Worry about the 12th and second from its place. That's when you have to worry about the condition of the 12th planet or the second planet. Meaning 12th from the moon, second from the moon. So if your moon is in the 10th house, planet in the 9th house is 12th from the moon. Planet in the 11th house is second from the moon. So if the planet 12th from the moon is debilitated greatly, what do you think? Let's say Jupiter is debilitated. What is happening? What type of morals and religious and philosophical education are you getting? What type of teachers that are coming in your life? You see the difference now, and you'll see this in your own horoscope. When you, let's say, have Jupiter debilitated, you always were fed the wrong information. Morals were not taught to you the way the moral was supposed to be taught. And this is a great example of somebody who becomes a religious fanatic. Somebody who feels like they need to kill Jews in order to please their gods. They need to kill the innocent to please the God. These are the people who say, I'm better than you because I'm a Brahmin caste and you are an untouchable. You stay there. That's the knowledge that I have received. That's what happens when you have a planet like Jupiter debilitated from 12th from the moon. Second from the moon, let's say. Venus is second from the moon. Let's say Venus is exalted. What's happening is that you always are attracted towards, first of all, very beautiful people. And you're coming across beautiful people. And you're coming across people who are trying to change what Jupiter has instilled in you for your whole life. You will come across girlfriends, women, who are very open, liberal. They're very much kind of like, in a way you can say, a hippie. Okay. These days we use these terms. So what happens is, because you have such a positive planet second from the moon, this thing is going to start changing. And when does the second and the 12th affects? First of all, the 12th will affect anytime you lean back on your past, anytime you lean back on the people that you grew up with. Yet, let's say once you turn an adult after 18, 21, and you start running into people like exalted Venus that tell you about love, that tell you about oneness, that tell you about there's something called the divine consciousness. What happens is, this Venus is in a way saving your moon. This Venus in a way, those people who are like, you know what, I grew up in such a bad environment, such a bad company. It was thanks to my friends and especially my wife or my girlfriend that really gave me a true view of this world. That's because of the fact this person would have a planet second from itself. Whenever somebody gives me these kind of situations, I already know what planet might be 12th or second from itself. Let's say Saturn is a 12th from your moon. Saturn being 12th from the moon, let's say if it's in a neutral sign, it's not debilitated, it's not fully exalted, it just is. It's in the sign of Virgo, let's say. Shows that you grew up with a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work. Your mind got affected from the moment you were born by discipline, organization, and structure in your life. You always had the support of your uncle in your life. Your uncle was always a support. Your grandparents were always a support. Any kind of an older senior figure in your life were a great support to instill a lot of hardworking values within your mind. Let's say though, you have Mars second from the moon. If Mars is second from the moon, especially in the sign of Scorpio, these people are going to be attracted towards very powerful, intense people. I don't even care if you're a man or woman. Mars represents a male. Mars represents a masculine energy. Mars represents your brothers, soldier, fighter, athletes. It shows that you are attracted towards people who are very intense, masculine, and are very secretive. People who have the ability to understand and know a lot of information hidden from the world. So now judge this. Saturn is 12th from itself, Mars is 2nd from itself. This is going to be a very intense mind, because this person has the discipline and organization to do any work. And the work that they're going to be going towards, that are attracted towards, the energy and the action. Mars is action, right? Your action are going to be towards attaining secret information. Not having any fear and facing fear head on forward. This is literally an athlete you're talking about. But then something else is happening. And this is something you have to be aware of. 2 malefic planets are surrounding moon. Just think of my face as moon. Beautiful, hot, good-looking full moon. Okay. So you got malefic planet Mars and Saturn here. 12th and 2nd from itself. Moon in nature is a very soft planet. Moon gets influenced a lot by anything easily. Moon gets hurt by things very easily. So when this moon is surrounded by these 2 planets, shows that one will have a hard time expressing their moon-like emotions to other people. They're always just tough, military type. If they feel hurt, they will go in the closet and cry and come out as like tough. The mind is feeling pressured now, 2 malefic planets. And this creates a certain yoga called Papkartri yoga. 2 malefic planets are having a planet. So now, if these, and then that's when you have to look at the condition of these planets. If they're debilitated, if they're exalted, what is the condition? And this person is going to react to that. But mainly, no matter what, this person is always going to be on fire. They're always going to be on alert. They're always going to be in one word, if you want to tell us, is military mode. They're always on a military mode. They're always ready to take challenge, protect somebody from a certain challenge, ready to be active. And just like this, any other planet you can judge in your life. So it's not just moon that deals with these scenarios. Any planet will deal with these scenarios. So let's say if you're Jupiter, okay? Your Jupiter is sitting in a certain house. Jupiter has Mars 12th from itself. And let's say it's debilitated, Mars. Mars is at exactly 28 degrees. And what is Jupiter? Gurus, teachers, morals, religious views, spiritual views, philosophical views. Your divine intelligence that you come here on this planet with. Mercury is the intelligence that you accumulate by learning things and being surrounded by other people. Jupiter is something that you naturally know is right or wrong. Okay, so you got Mars 12th from itself. You can easily tell a person that the teachers that you come across are very forceful in your life. They kind of make you want to do and learn things that you may not want to learn. Morals, religion, spirituality was forced upon you. Take any chart. Let's say though, the same Jupiter has Saturn 12th or 2nd from itself. What is happening? This person will eventually, when they grow older, become adults and they go into their 20s and 30s, the progression happens. And especially by 24, which is the age of Jupiter, because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun. So first age of Jupiter is 12, the second is 24, then it's 36. At 24 is when this Jupiter will start to come across people who will teach them to be disciplined, organized, have patience, slow their ability down, and to understand what they have really learned. So let's say if Jupiter is in a neutral condition, if Mars is debilitated, that means Jupiter must be in Virgo, showing hard work. Shows that this person will eventually come across very old, mature, wise people that will tell them that, look, what you have learned so far was really forced upon you. And the teachers that you have came across in your life just kind of forced you upon all these wrong things that you weren't supposed to really learn. So that's how you again judge it. Again, Pap Kartri Yoga happens. But let's say this. Let's say Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. Okay? So Mars is exalted in 12th from Jupiter. What does it show? Shows that your teachers, the gurus, really installed a heavy dose of discipline within you. You were the kind of person who really came across people who made you wake up at 4 a.m., do your meditation, do your prayers, do your yoga, eat the right food, do the right prayers. To really show you that it requires hard work, yet proper discipline to achieve your intelligence and goals in this life. Your education, whether it's your kindergarten all the way to PhD or post-PhD nowadays. All of this education would come in such an ease to you because you were instilled good amount of discipline within your life. Yet, because Mars is still there, 12th from is Jupiter, shows you had strict teachers who were just like military-like teacher. They're like, look, I'm teaching you the Vedas, right? The right knowledge. And this doesn't mean because I'm Hindu, I'm saying this is right knowledge. No, Vedas, let's say, simply says, do not hurt anybody, do not force anybody to believe in something, do not force anybody to do something. You can do whatever you want. Just be peace with yourself. So this person learns that and they're disciplined about it. They're in high school. Somebody's being bullied because let's say they're Muslim and some kids are bullying this little person saying you're a terrorist because you're Muslim. This person, this Hindu who had this Mars exalted 12th from itself will go there, probably beat the living shit out of those people who are bullying this innocent guy who has nothing done and not done anything wrong. It's just that the pre-notions of what Islam or Hinduism or Jewishism is, they are judging these people because mind is stupid when you're 10, 11, 12. That's the kind of person this will be. He'll be like, he's going to stand up for the right thing. He's like, why are you bothering him? What is he doing to you? So what if he's Muslim? You're a Christian. That's the kind of things is what I'm really trying to say. You can even take Venus. Venus has Saturn 12th from itself. I immediately know this person is a very picky person when it comes to relationship. This person, guy or girl regardless, are very patient about when they go into relationships. And especially, let's say, if we're talking about Saturn exalted or neutral, okay? They're very organized about how they approach a dating scene. Regardless of Venus' sign placement, okay? We know that they have instilled a lot of conservative values within themselves when it comes to their relationship. So they may not just have sex with you on the first date. So if you come across this, yeah, don't expect that. Maybe it'll be the 4th or 5th date. They're going to be very patient to wanting to know you before they do that commitment of Venus. But let's say Saturn is debilitated. Saturn is in Aries at 20th degree, right on the 20th degree. How will this Venus will react? This Venus will be instilled with conservative values that do not love anybody except your own belief system. So let's say if you are Hindu, don't you ever date anybody who is Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Jain, Buddhist. Don't ever do that or you'll go to hell. So now what's happening, this Venus is getting too hard of lessons because they'll be afraid. Saturn is what? Saturn is fear. I automatically know this person is filled with fear about relationship with other people. Forget even other religion, with their own religion, they'll be very worried. Like, am I making the right move or not? Because Saturn was 12th from Venus. But let's say Mercury was second to Venus. What's happening, let's say Mercury is in Gemini. After their adulthood, they're going to come across people who will show them the fun side of life. They are Hindu, they will date a Muslim who will show them adventures, hiking, mountain, cultures, and be like, this is what life is. And then they'll finally be like, wow, I'm finally starting to understand the happiness you get from just dating different people of different religion. The curiosity, Mercury and Gemini are going to start working with Venus. But anytime Venus goes back to its home, anytime Venus goes back to rely on its past, it's gonna be again put in the wrong values again. Judge any planet like this. You don't need to know the sign or anything what's happening to your particular planet. Just pay attention to the 2nd and 12th from itself, and you'll understand just the basic game. You know, just like I told you, from knowing your age, we can know what situations you're going through. The video I made last week or 2 weeks ago. Same thing with this. All you have to do is just know what planet is 2nd or 12th from a certain planet, and you know the value system they grew up with and what's ahead of them. Like you take Sun. Sun has Saturn 12th from itself. Neutral. Shows that the father was a disciplinarian. Father made sure you didn't screw up. You screw up, you're going to get it. But let's say you have exalted Jupiter, 2nd from Sun. You will come across teachers, gurus, and people who will tell you the real value of how to teach and learn things in life. It wasn't the way of your father, which was very strict. To the dot, you have to be on the dining table by 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. The people that you will come across with exalted Jupiter will show you that, look, the real lessons are learned through giving yourself emotionally to other people, loving other people. So I can keep going on and on and on. This can even happen with Rahu and Ketu. Venus has Rahu in 12th from itself. Shows that this person will be in complete fog growing up about what relationship is, what love is. These are the people who probably will date too many people at the same time in a very, very young age. And they would love to date people of different cultures, so that's a good thing. Different cultures, foreign people. But then if Saturn is in the front of Venus, sure, it's having the Pap Kartari Yoga, but what's happening is ultimately they will come across people that will tell them, look, stick to one person. You need to be a little bit more conservative because you're running around dating every single woman in town or every single man in town. So you see where I'm going with this. Any planet, anything 12th from itself. If there's a planet 12th from, if Ketu is 12th from any planet, shows your backing is completely detached. You probably didn't even have a backing. You didn't have any foundation to build that planet upon. If Ketu is 2nd from a certain planet, you will probably meet people that you'll just feel like, am I in Twilight Zone or what? It's like somebody from New York going to Oregon. From the hustle bustle of the Times Square and New York City, you're now coming across people who have chickens in their backyards, raising goats, you know, all vegan. And you're like, man, this is like crazy. What is this? It's something you will not be able to understand. So people you will come across regarding that planet will be just something will take you to either complete liberation and moksha, or will just be keeping you in this no zone. Like Jupiter will have Ketu 2nd from itself. So your education and your morals are either going to go in the most awkward, weird way, like let's say Osho Rajneesh kind of way, where you like have sex with as many people as you want and do whatever the hell you want and scream and yell. Although we can't really judge that if it's good or bad, but it's that weird world, right? This is how everything is judged. Everything. From Mercury, Jupiter, Moon, Mars, you know, if Mars has Jupiter 12th from itself and if it's in a good neutral condition, I know this person's action will always go into the right direction. Like this person whenever they take action, whether they fight for something, stand up for something, compete for something, it'll be in the right direction. If it's debilitated, they can go into the wrong direction. If a planet is exalted in the middle, let's say Mars is exalted, Jupiter is in the back, or actually there's no planet that can be debilitated in Sagittarius, wrong example. But just imagine, a Mars in good condition, 2 planets in bad condition, that can show that one will ultimately be able to get out of both situations. Whether the bad people they will come across after their adulthood, when they get out in the world, or they'll be able to just tell the people to back off in their past. Okay, so guys, this was my analysis of planets being 2nd and 12th from itself. I hope you learned something, and I hope when you see it, you'll know. Take anybody's chart, take your mom's chart and say, Mom, did this blah, 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 blah happen? You'll understand the magic of astrology. All right. So I hope this has helped. And otherwise, if you want the reports, all my books and consultations for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.